If you'd only use one sentence to advise on breaking through plateaus, what would you say? Do more volume would be almost certainly, if we're talking about strength specific plateaus here, doing more volume is almost certainly the answer for the average person. Now, I know you could listen to this and be like, what about isms? But if you're giving me one sentence to correct an issue to see across multiple people, the vast majority of people get stuck in sort of heavy sets, doing sort of heavy singles, and they spend months and months and months just kind of spinning their wheels until they never end up making progress. Pretty much everybody skips the initial portion of training. They skip the initial sections where you're doing your 8s and your 10s, your 12s. Certainly when it comes to strength training athletes, obviously bodybuilders don't skip this, but they're not worried about strength training. But if we're worried about people actually getting stronger, this higher volume phase is massively useful for the end phase where you're building muscle, building technique, building work capacity, just building the ability to do those heavier sets. It's building momentum going into your 5s and your 3s and your 2s and into your 1s. And this volume is incredibly useful. It also gives you a break from those heavier weights. Now, I know there's a different kind of fatigue, but it doesn't really matter because no matter what anyone says, heavy weights are very fatiguing. And if you think they aren't heavy, you're just not strong enough, or you think they aren't fatiguing, you just haven't done any actual strength training to say something like that, in my opinion. So the higher volume gives you a break from those heavier weights and it gives you an opportunity to get away from them, coupled with all the other major benefits. And the most common thing I think we see is, whoa, I wasn't ready for the volume in that squat program, or why are these initial weights so light in this program and the volume so high? How will this help me get stronger? And then 2 months later, 3 months later, they're like, wow, that worked really well. And you're like, yes, it did. It did work really well.
I was going to say, do more volume than you want to do for longer than you think you should do it.
At the moment, I'm kind of missing a little bit of volume, but my knee can't really take it. So I've been trying to get back to older numbers without doing too much volume. So you would have seen last year when I did 290, I was coming the back off of doing a ton of volume. Wow.
Coming on the back of a load of
Well, I was actually doing this as well in my hand. So I was after coming off a 1 year long training where I did tons of volume and high frequency. And so I was able to do very efficient training to get 290. Now I've gotten far back as 260, and I know my knee isn't quite there yet, but it's improved a lot the last few weeks. But I can really do it some sessions where I can get, a couple of 5s in or multiple sets of 3. Whereas a lot of the point up until now, I've been trying to scratch by on 2 or 3 sets of 3, or maybe one top set of 3, and then to get that consistently in across multiple sessions. Definitely do more volume.